Press play on the box. Press play on the box. Revolution. All right now. Revolution. All right now. Revolution. All right now. Revolution. All right now. Revolution.
My mom and dad met they were young in the context of just coming out of their late teens, early 20s. My mother moved up from Virginia. My dad already lived here. He's walking down the street. He sees her on Pine Street. He thinks she's beautiful. He puts his moves on. At this point, he's not so politicized at all. You know, they have kind of the perfect life in the context of after they got married. He had 2 jobs. They had to picket fence. They had 2 cars. You know, they had a perfect kind of family life, you know.
Right.
And so my dad had got out of the gang warring and had got out of, you know, hanging out on the streets and drinking wine on the corners and had committed himself to being a family man. And
after he met your mom?
After he met my mom. And then he becomes more politicized as the situation gets worse and worse and worse.
Right. So, when does all that change? When does the family life kind of thing, when does that all change? Because your dad goes underground, so what, the 68?
My dad goes underground actually in 71.
Okay.
In 71. Between 71 and 72.
But doesn't he get arrested for the thing in Philly?
He gets arrested for the shooting of the police officer in 71 after the shooting, but he had went on the run for 2 years.
Okay.
He had went on a run after that.
So the whole time that he's on the run, is he
politicized?
Right.
Yes. He is politicized at that point. He had knew my mom for some years now. They had dated, they had children, so they had to get married. It was one of those situations. Right. They were young. He had his first kid, Teresa, my sister. So they immediately got married. You know, they didn't know each other really that well at that point of my daughter. I mean, they knew each other, but not in the context of a long-term relationship. It was one of those classic back in the day,
right.
I got you pregnant, we got to get married. And they were growing from that point.
And then he goes through this transformation, this political transformation. Right,
and then he started...
Shortly after that,
he's going through this political transformation. He's still trying to, here and there, go and hang out with the boys after he had the baby and take a little sip, sing a little bit, doo-wop a little bit, and then try to go back and be family man and do jobs. And so that was a whole dichotomy for him, trying to be the family man and trying to still hang out with the boys and still be a regular person and sing and shoot the shit and, you know, and doo-wop.
Right.
And drink some wine.
And at the same time that all this is happening, he's putting his life into a political context.
Yes, he's finding out that there is some politics in everything you do, life-wise. That's what he's kind of figuring out, that even though we're just fresh out of, you know, doo-wopping and gang warring, and even now and then, because I'm young and I just had a baby or what have you, and I'm trying to change my life, if my man calls me and they fighting, then I got to go and fight with them. Even though I really don't want to, but I have to go fight with them.
Right.
So it was those type of situations.
It's residual.
Yes, very residual and very touch and go.
Right.
You know.
Because it's not, the things haven't completely changed.
It wasn't an absolute for sure.
But it's also, the paradigm hasn't changed. You know?
No. It's still...
Cops are still coming around.
It's still oops upside your head.
Yeah.
You know, it's still watch your back late night in the street. It's still you get thrown in the paddy wagon and left in the wrong neighborhood.
Right.
It's still, you know, they'll beat you in the paddy wagon, you know.
Set it off on the right. Set it off on the left, y'all. Set it off on the right, y'all. Set it off. Set it off on the left, y'all. Set it off on the right, y'all. Set it off. Set it off. on the left.